doggy. I'm just so proud to be here. I was so excited when I was invited to come again to be at your cornbread jamboree, but I wasn't able to make it there, so I thought I'd send this short little video just to say hi. There's a lot going on in Grinder Switch. You know, the river runs every day and the train runs once a week. There are some exciting things going on. You know, Seth Jones got one of those newfangled oil stoves. He put it in himself, and the next day, he and his wife blew clear out of the roof when that thing blew up. It's the first time he and his wife had been out together since they had been married. There was a town hall meeting the other day. There were several suggestions made, and someone made a motion that they should make Main Street a one-way street. Well, they talked about it for a while, but then they decided that would not be such a good idea because if someone drove out of town, there would be no way for them to come back. So they decided instead that they would paint a white line down the middle of Main Street so that Grinder Switch could look like all those other big cities. So they hired a man to paint the line. The first day, the man painted the line 6 miles. The second day, he painted 3 more miles. The third day, he painted less than 1 mile. So they asked the man, "Why are you painting less and less each day?" The man replied, "Well, it's very hard to do this work." And they were like, "Well, why?" And he said, "Well, each day I keep getting farther and farther away from the paint can." Well, you know, my brother's been looking for a job. So I thought I'd take him down to Nashville and see if I could help him find a job. So we went to Nashville and I took him to this man that I knew, and he said sure enough he could get brother a job. He said he would start brother at $30 a week. And in 5 years, he could be making $200. So brother said, "That sounds good to me." But he said, "I'll be back in 5 years." Well, that kind of reminded me of the very first time that I took brother into town. He was just a little fella, and it's the first time he had ever ridden on a train. So we went to the depot, we got on the train, and we was just sitting there, and this other fella got on the train, and he was yelling, "Apples, oranges, and nanners." Well, my brother had never had a nanner before, so he decided that he would get one. Well, as a matter of fact, after he got it, he didn't know what to do with it. So just as it happened, the man that was sitting across the aisle from us also got a nanner. So my brother decided he'd look him square in the eye and he would do exactly what that man did. So that man held the nanner in his hand, and my brother held the nanner in his hand also. That man peeled back that nanner, and my brother peeled back the nanner also. That man took a bite of his nanner, and my brother also took a bite of his nanner. Just as he took that bite, the train went through the tunnel. It was as dark as could be, and you couldn't see a thing. Well, we came out of the tunnel, and my brother was just sitting there holding his nanner. And I said, "Brother, aren't you going to eat any more of your nanner?" He looked at me and he said, "Oh no." He said, "I'm never going to eat any more of that nanner." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "Because I took one bite of that nanner and I went stone blind." Oh, my brother. Well, it's turned fall, just as it has all over the place. And with fall comes certain things. So the first day of school started, and my next door neighbor, his little boy, was going to the first day of school. And so when he came home that day, his dad asked him, "Well, how was your first day of school? Did you learn anything?" And the little boy replied, "Well, I guess I didn't learn enough." And the dad said, "Well, what do you mean you didn't learn enough?" And he said, well, I have to go back tomorrow. Also, with autumn and the fall season comes the fabulous game of football. And so 2 of our old timers had never been to a football game, and they decided to go and see what this football thing was all about. So they went to the game, and the next day they were talking about the game. And one said to the other, well, how did you like that game? And the other one said, well, it was okay, but he said it seemed like an awful lot of trouble for 25 cents. And to which the man replied, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, during the whole game, they kept yelling, get the quarterback. Well, the other night, my boyfriend Hezzy came over to sort of sit a spell and keep me company. It was a warm autumn night, and we were sitting there in the front room, and it was so romantical. Well, it must have been late, probably about 8:30. Well, we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, Hezzy turned red in the face. He started squirming. He started wiping his brow. And I thought, oh, this is so exciting. Hezzy's going to propose. This is it. Well, I didn't know what to do, and I wanted to help Hezzy. So I looked at Hezzy and said, come on, Hezzy, it's later than you think. Hezzy looked at me and he said, that ain't it, Minnie. He said, it's just too early to be wearing this long underwear. Well, Aunt Ambrosie and Uncle Nabob are stopping by in a few minutes, so I need to go. But I hope that next year I'll be able to attend your cornbread jamboree and be in person. But until then, take care. Bye.